Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's not great. Thank you. Thank you. This is amazing. This is crazy. No, I'm a Spanish rock star.
How many people cried? That's what I want to know.
Yes. Okay, it's really an idea for me, or maybe some publicity cleaners tissue.
Oh, I love it.
Entrance.
I got it. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations on your big win last night.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes.
What was that like? What was the night like for you?
It was fantastic. It was to see the crowds be in UCLA. I wanted to go to UCLA. They didn't accept me. But I have been in the campus before.
Yeah.
And to be there with all these great, well-known film animation directors there, and finding so much love toward the film, toward Rowan and Doug, and the energy is so cool. Everybody screamed, and it was funny. It was very funny because every time we were nominated for 5, so we appeared many times, and you will hear and the nominators are, we said, Spider-Man, and the whole house, and then Robot Dreams, and we were 10 people going. It was David against Goliath, but it was fun.
Yeah, well, you won, so I mean that's.
Yeah, we won.
Yeah,
they won.
Well, let's take it back, and you obviously had directed several live action features before this. Can you talk about the process of getting into animation and what drew you to Robot Dreams?
Getting into animation was out of the blue.
Okay.
Never in my life thought I was going to make an animated film, although I really love animation. When the Sight and Sound, the British Film Institute magazine asked me my top 10 films, of course I included Miyazaki. It had to be there. Before even I wanted to make an animated film, so it was, I gave you some gifts, no?
Yes.
Let's take out something from your
Okay, what do you want to take
from
out?
your bag.
Okay, take out whatever you want.
Just to show it.
Okay.
So this is a little gift for Andrew.
Nobody else gets them.
Neon ideas. I'm sure some people here read this book, a few maybe. It's Robot Dreams, Sara, Varon, graphic novel, published in 2007. Somebody have read this book? I see some hands, yeah. It's an amazing book. So, the reason of making an animated film is this book, okay? It was published in 2007 in the States. I read it in 2010. And why do I have this book? Because I collect children's book or adults book or graphic novels wordless. And all started when I have a daughter who's 20 now, but when she was a little girl, 1, 2, 3, I said I want to share the experience of reading. So I found these kind of books, and so I bought it for the collection. I read it, I loved it. It wasn't my top, my favorites. I met Blancanieves, a live action film. I met Abracadabra. So 10 years went by, and one day I was just, coffee time, procrastinating, and I took it. And this time I read it, I went through, and I was getting very emotional reading, So, and I laughed, and I got emotional. And when I got to the end, I was sobbing. Honestly, I was sobbing. It had never happened in my life, sobbing with a graphic novel. I have to admit it. And I said, okay, there's something here.
Right.
And I know I was kind of visualizing the film while I was reading, and so I have fearless producers. They're here. Please, Yvonne, Sandra, Ignacy, where are you guys? And I also have a fearless collaborator. This is my first film. Nico Hernandez is the music editor. And she's gonna hate this, but she's my life companion because she has one attitude. Please, you was here. It's really fearless too. So I knew that, okay, let's make an animation film. I never thought about it. That's the reason. The story is so beautiful.
But easier said than done, right?
Well, I think to make a film is always, a suicidal mission that sometimes comes out right. You don't die,
right?
But sometimes you survive, and I have survived for a few movies already. So, okay, I was scared, but it was that kind of scare that doesn't block you. It's kind of like to get out of your comfort zone. You just gets you more tense, your brain works faster. So you say, okay, let's do it. And I got the best possible team. I got an amazing director of animation, Benoit Ferromon. He had worked with Van Chaumet, the Troopers of Elvire. He had worked with Tomo in the Book of Kells. I had an amazing art director. He's Jose Luis Agreda. He had to make the Buñuel in the Turtles Labyrinth. So, and of course, it had a little bit of this, the Seven Samurais, Kurosawa. We had some good samurais, but we had a lot of young, upcoming animators and artists in Spain and in Europe. So it was a combination of very experienced and a lot of young artists.
What was that, it being wordless always part of, because if Hollywood got a hold of this, they'd say, Chris Rock is going to play So, was that always part of your vision, was that it would be wordless?
Yeah, well, that's probably the main reason of getting this book, is just the wordless. And I have made a film called Blancanieves, around 10 years ago, and it was wordless. It was, it was music from beginning to end. It was a homage to silent cinema. And the experience has been so wonderful. I really learned that for me, at that moment, that film is a sensorial experience, not an intellectual experience. Now, I love to talk about it later, but Blancanieves, you have to dream awake and let yourself go. And I saw that with the audience, and I learned that as a director, and I said, that's the way or kind of films I want to make.
Right.
So I was waiting for the right project. I wanted to make the same, but completely different. So when I found this, I said, okay,
here it is.
I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
And that's why I did it.
Well, talk about sort of conjuring this kind of fantastical 1980s Manhattan and where that came from. And also getting a bunch of Spanish and European animators.
Yes.
What that experience was like.
Well, the thing is that in the book, it's very simple. The backgrounds are, I'm sure, unless you have Spider-Man vision, you can see the back, but only the front row. The characters have a makeover. But the background, you don't know if it's a city, it's an American city, but it's not defined.
Okay.
I lived 10 years in New York with my music editor. And so this is our love letter to New York. So when I said, okay, the protagonists are not only robot, dog, it has to be also New York. So that was like a key moment, okay, I want to make this film.
Right.
And working with this mix of animators and artists, that was amazing, and my producer, Sandra, of course, they're all about the executive in this film, Sandra, said, but you always had an film animation director inside of you. It's just hard for me just to say animation. I'm a director. So it doesn't matter if I do live action, it's like, I'm a director, so she told me, but you have an animation director inside of you because all your films, you storyboard for 1 year. I truly storyboard for 1 year, all my live action films. I only have made 4 films in 20 years. So I don't know how many do I have, very few. But she said, you always animated for a whole year. So, that's the key. Like the treasure map for animated film is the storyboard. So I spent 1 year doing the storyboard. So after I did that, I said, okay, this movie works. Because the animatic, it has a similar, oh yeah. We made it with, it would be nice to have a panel. We've done panel before, Andrew and I.
Yes.
We know from. So if we had let's put Spider-Man or any other film that is in the nomination, our team for the storyboard, it was the art director, Jose Luis Agreda. He did the thumbnails with me. Then we had one storyboard artist, Then we had the music editor and the film editor that works in all my film. And for 1 year, this small team we work and we created. And you have to ask the question. So, what was the team for this to do the storyboard of Spider-Man? the credits of Robot Dreams,
Still storyboarding.
I have envy.
Can you talk about the use of September, which in America is sort of an annoying wedding song?
Yeah.
You made it this heartbreaking, beautiful moment.
Okay. Well, but the older of the plays, I have no hair, for me September, it was gigantic hit in the late 70s and 80s. We were in the disco dancing, come on. But I understand. In Spain also plays in all the ways.
Yes, all of it. Yeah.
But what you have to realize is that, I don't know, I'm not brilliant in any aspect unless writing, but when I started writing the script, I saw, oh, the film takes place from September to September. What could be the main theme of the September? And I needed to have a scene because they were going to roller dance. So I said, wow, roller dance around the 80s. And then it all became place. And then we realized what amazing is the theme of them in the film. In different versions and whistles and of course the producer every time she was seeing that a new whistling, I know there are film people here, everybody in LA is film people. So music rights are expensive, and every time you play a song, you have to pay. That's why it's not in the credits. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure you were tired. But definitely it was very difficult but it was a big thing. And amazing thing is that when the film, it wasn't the first draft of the script, but when we started production, suddenly we realized, oh my God, the lyrics. Do you remember? That's the theme of the film. That's the reason I made the film. Why did I cry when I read this? Wow. And I'm sure some of you cried watching this film sound because you remember about people that you lost.
Yeah.
So we can be funny again. Okay. Do you remember? And the lyrics, don't get scared, I'm not going to analyze the whole song. But do you remember the 21st night of September? Okay? My music editor and I, we have a daughter, 20 years old. And she was born the 21st night of September. Of course, we remember. She remembers more than me. But we all remember.
Your music editor goes a lot further than most.
We shouldn't get into that subject matter in the time they were like, we are working now with the Me Too thing, okay? But yes. So it had to be that song.
Yeah. Well,
It had to be that song.
the other amazing thing is all these brand names and things in the movie, and I'm sure people are amazed that you snuck in it. That was a long process too, right?
Wow. People think, oh, that's product placement. People don't know. That's clearances, you know that. So everything that appears in the film has to be cleared. But for me, in this kind of dystopian anthropomorphic world in the 80s, it was very important to have brands that many of them have disappeared. Many just like, Radio Shack or the most amazing video club in the history of humanity, King's Video, or things like that, or Tab, or who has been King's Video? People King's Video, we have King's Video people, King's Video people, yes, that's where they rent, when dog rent. So there was a big team doing clearances for it during the whole production. Truly, it's a big work to do all the clearances.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some people were like, okay, we need a bag of Cheetos right now.
Yeah.
They watching this film, I'm sure that if Neon is this movie is a big hit, the Cheetos sales are going to skyrocket.
Yeah. Branded Cheetos and branded tissue.
Yeah, we have to do something.
Yeah, we got to do that. Okay, we're on Neon's on it. This movie didn't get Cannes last year. It's a long time to be rolling this thing out. How has it been, sort of touring this around the world?
It's amazing that we premiere Cannes. It's almost impossible to premiere Cannes, but we did. This is my first film to premiere Cannes. It felt good. In the official selection, the official. We did the red carpet. We had the tuxedo. Thierry Fremont with a big smile and their arms open, hugged me. So it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was that's like for a director, it's a dream come true. So we started good. Then we went to Annecy, that is a Cannes film festivals, of animation.
Yeah.
We went to Sitges, the kind of fantastic cinema, and now we come to the kind of all kinds, the Oscars. So.
Yeah. Well, what was it like? I mean, did you have any clue what was going to happen on the Oscar nomination morning?
Have you seen this video of us?
Yes, I saw it after you told me.
The producers and the music editor,
Yeah.
me, and we were like, You know, this is our first time in Cannes. It was our first time in Cannes, our first time nominated for the Oscar. Let's hope it's not the only one. But we're the four of us looking at this live from the YouTube and the Academy.
Where were you?
We were in Barcelona,
Okay.
in a hotel lobby.
Okay.
And we were there, and we're so stupid. It's our first time that we didn't know that they say it alphabetically.
Okay.
So we thought it was a random thing.
Right.
You know? So of course everybody knew that Spider-Man and the Boy and the Girl was going to be there for sure. And some of them, they were, so I don't know, I thought, okay, there's Spider-Man. And well, and then we thought, Nimona, I love Nimona, I'm not saying, but I thought like, when Nimona came in, I said, forget it, there's no chance. And we are both, there's no chance. And after we said, there's no chance, impossible, Robot Drink! One of us had a sensitive heart.
Yeah.
He died. It wouldn't have been viral. This thing, the video is viral, but it would have been more than viral. It would have been a producer. I think maybe they would have given it to us. Maybe we should have faked it. Maybe we should have faked it.
Yeah.
With the director. But it was crazy. I recommend you to see the video.
Yeah.
They put it at the national nominees.
They played the video.
Yeah, it was amazing. They put like 3 or 4 videos and they selected us of how crazy it was. We were like,
Yeah.
I lost my voice since then,
Well, I mean, it was an amazing year for animation. As you and I were talking about some of the movies that didn't get nominated, I mean, it's pretty incredible that Robot.
I love Ninja Turtles. I love them. Well, I'm so sad that they're not there. I don't know, we kind of.
They include more.
But there are many other films,
Yeah. And Robot Dreams made. I mean, that's huge. It speaks to the movie. And it's not even coming out until May 31st. Yes.
It's
So
official.
tell everybody to go watch it when it comes out.
You can say it officially?
Yeah.
More or less.
Just a poster. Yeah.
In May. You can see me overlooking, I'm looking to neon in May, in spring. But we're going to have small, some theatrical now, just before the Oscars. So
You and I we're gonna put it in Buick and we're gonna tour the country. Show everybody.
And we're going to do a double job,
Yes.
You know what it means. Did they tell you the neon?
No?
That we have these outfits of Robert and Dog.
Oh, yeah.
And before at the entrance, you and I, we do September. And we come here, we take out the outfit, and we just do a Q&A.
I love it. The other fun thing is that you got to finally meet your fellow nominees. Because you and I were on a Zoom
Yes,
earlier this week,
yes.
and you hadn't met anybody.
I didn't even know how they look like. I'm sure like a lot of animated fans say like, Pablo, you should be, I'm new, I don't know, I'm new in the industry, so I met Peter Son, and I met Ken from Spider-Man, and Nick Bruno from Nimona, so I felt like they were all friends, they were like chatting, and this.
Well, tell the story about talking to Guillermo at Annecy and what that meant.
Well, that was amazing, Guillermo, he's the man.
Yeah.
He's our leader, he's inspiration for all of us. We have a common friend, one of the most well-known, famous actor-director in Spain, Santiago Segura, is a very close friend of Guillermo, and I'm a very close friend of Santiago, so when we went to Annecy, I said to Santiago, please, I would like to invite Guillermo. I've never met Guillermo. And Guillermo, he's so generous with his time and with his persona, he couldn't come to the premiere, but he said, let's have breakfast. And then we met in Nancy, and we had a long breakfast and chat about cinema, like action, animation, the future. He had seen Blancanieves, so it was great. It was.
So what did he tell you? He said, you're not going to want to do live action. You're going to want to do more animation. So.
Well, definitely. And what happened to Guillermo, I don't know, there's something about animation. If you're a live action director, it's an instant. I fell in love instantly with his way of making films. If you are patient, because I made 4 films in 20 years, so yes, I can do animation.
Yeah.
But directors that they're just having a TV series and producing and making films and direct, it's impossible. But if you're patient, the animation world, film storytelling, it opened me a new way of creativity. I don't know where it can go. There's no limit to animation.
Yeah.
So for me, it gives me so much excitement to think about an animated film project. Doesn't mean I'm not going to make live action. I'm going to combine, but definitely I'm going to repeat again.
Have you thought about what your next animated?
Well, the thing that since I'm just like with the dog outfit.
Yes, that's
and the megaphone
yeah,
doing
your main priority. Yeah.
Promoting.
Yes.
Just like talking about the film. I'm happy because I wrote it, directed, and I'm so proud of Robert and Dog, and we love them so much that I just been. But probably after the Oscars, it will come around the time of
Do you ever think about revisiting this world? Do you think about what Robot and Dog are up to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I definitely think about spin-off of some of the characters because I love some of the supporting characters. I love Ed, the junkyard crocodile, and his son. There's such a good backstory there.
Oh, really? Do you want to tell people?
Well,
or is that for the secret?
well, what? Maybe somebody can steal the ideas from me here. Let's do it in LA, but it's not copyright. But definitely we can make a very big dramedy with them. Why? Where's the mother? This has such a good relation. Or we can make some horror film with the rabbits. Where they come from? Why they work together? And I think Doc moved to Barcelona. He was doing ghosting.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of things to do here, and then of course there's the robot dreams too. You never know.
Okay.
You can't say no. This is like James Bond. Sean Connery said no, and then what happened?
Yeah.
If I say no, but I imagine. I can say about robot dreams too. Yeah, just imagining. What about if he starts, Rascal, Dog.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving. They're getting ready for Thanksgiving. It's a very beautiful scene. And then Ding Dong, and appears Dog and Tim with bottles of wine, Spanish wine. They're going to celebrate together Thanksgiving, the four of them. It will be a beautiful beginning because I think there's going to be a moment that I think there's going to be a moment that Robot and Dog, they can be friends, but they cannot be BFF, or they cannot be, I don't see, in Spanish we have the word polyamor, polylove. No, there are not going to be any, the four of them together. They're not. I cannot, it could be X-rated. But I can see they can celebrate Thanksgiving and be friends.
Yeah.
Like a Woody Allen film,
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about them getting older. You can do this in 20 years. Yeah. Okay, I think we have time for questions. Yeah. Does anyone have a question for this madman? Oh my God, yes. Okay.
So, I'm a gay man.
Okay.
And I recently had my heart shattered, and this movie really healed a lot of that heartache. And I'm just wondering, is the story for gay men?
Okay, the question is the story for gay men?
Emotions, they have no gender, or taste, or all your preferences. Yes, it's for everybody. This film, the fact that they're animated, they're icon, they represent, you make substitutions, and that's something I love about making an animated film, A woman, not long ago, I was from the press, came to me, to my music editor and me, at the end of the award ceremony, and said, like, you saved my life, I just broke with my boyfriend, and your film saved it, because I watched it one day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, for many days, because it talks about the passage of time, and she said, I was dog. No, sorry, she said, I'm robot. So the fact that you tell me, she was heterosexual, you're gay, well, I love it that you say that. No, definitely.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, you have to see it again and again.
The only way.
Get the criteria.
Anybody else? Oh, in the aisle here. Oh, yes.
Why the thought choose to make a robot instead of looking for a man because dogs are man's best friend.
Yes.
Why the dog was
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's what the director says. We'll have to ask Sara Baron, the author. That's probably the most difficult question I ever had in any Q&A. Okay. So, thank you very much.
Great question.
Thank you very much. Great question. And you still have the microphone. What's your name? Anaya. Thank you very, very much. Okay. But I'm gonna, sometimes adults, when we answer a question, we kind of like don't give straight answer. But I think I'm gonna tell a little story, okay? The reason of this book, and imagine I'm Sara Baron. The reason of this book is because there's nobody that loves dogs, maybe as much as Sara Baron, okay? She has had so many dogs, her life is about her dogs. She has tattooed her dogs in her body, she loves dogs, and she does a lot of things for dogs and shelters. So in 2007, a little before, a very loved dog from her died. And for one reason, he was very sick and took it to the veterinary and to sacrifice the dog. So she always felt that she abandoned the dog. Truly. And to recover, she made this book. So Sara Baron is dog, and the dog is robot. Okay, so here in this dystopian world, they kind of change because the most dog character is robot, and the dog is a very human-like, So after this, so you set it up. This is a metaphor. A metaphor is not like the reality. It's something similar, and you can exchange. So the important thing about the story is not that he's a robot, like physical, what I understand the real world a robot, that you buy it. It's more like, in a way, the robot is the most human character, or the most doggy character from the whole film and the book. So I prefer that you see robot as kind of like as a friend, than more like a machine, okay, for you. And for the kids that watch the film.
That's beautiful. You also are going to make people cry again. So.
I want to cry. I'm probably the director that most cried. No, thank you. Thank you for the question. It was a very smart, honestly, it was a smart question. I'm the most crying director in the. If I win the Oscar, you're going to see me cry. Really? Reverse of crying.
Do you have a dog?
No, I live in a tiny, small apartment in the center of Madrid. I have dogs. I'm not going to say the same joke again. My wife also has dogs.
But no dogs right now?
Yes, but we don't have dogs.
Okay.
No, we have a small apartment.
Okay, all right. I think we have time for maybe a couple more questions. Down here, sir. Yeah.
Yes, in Dog's bedroom window, there are like some dolls there. I believe one of them, unless I'm mistaken, is Messenger Z. Is that something that you watched from long ago? And what are some of the other influences that you had?
Influences and a little doll of Messenger Z.
Well, the thing is that before a director, I'm audience. Always, the joy of sitting there and watching that in the darkness with a lot of people filming the big screen is just my best times being almost in the cinema, So all my films, including this one, especially this one, is full of Easter eggs. Cinephilia, pop culture, to be discovered. I don't even talk about it. And, I always appreciate when somebody can just find someone like you did, or somebody else, and it's great. Also, just because we're talking about the dogs, we talk about short film about Cinema Chaumet. It's also beautiful that it has dogs, one of these short films. So, yeah, it's full of little things. I think they are to discover. And now we're going to give an idea to Neon, okay? In the States, we should do something about cinephilia. We have American Cinematheque. We can do something American Cinematheque. How many Where's Wally of film history in the film? Because there are many little homages. Some of them
Where's
are.
Waldo in America?
What? Waldo. Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo Pepper? Okay.
Do you have a favorite Easter
egg? Yes, but this one is very obvious. but not so obvious because not everybody knows Pierre Tex. My favorite Easter egg is the poster of dog in his apartment. There's a big poster with a clown. That's a film called Yo-Yo Pierre Tex. Okay, Pierre Tex, I don't want to give a class here, but he was a big collaborator with Jack Stati. He was his assistant director, he did all the poster illustration, and then he had a long career as a director. And he made a film Yo-Yo. And Criterion, I don't know, we want a collection of Criterion, also Robot Dreams. Criterion made a pack of Pierre Tex, beautiful. And Yo-Yo is there. So I really encourage, and Yo-Yo is my Easter egg, because the story of Yo-Yo, I'm not going to spoil it, but how does it start the film Yo-Yo? Yo-Yo is multi-millionaire. He has everything. Also, it's dialogue-free, the first part of the film, dialogue-free. He's a multi-millionaire. He has everything, assistants and everybody in the gigantic mansion. But he's so lonely, he doesn't have a friend or anything. That's how it started.
Okay.
And you have to watch it.
Okay. I think we have time for one more question. Let me, gentleman on the end here. Yeah, that's you.
Well, thanks so much for the movie. It was amazing. But there's so much great character acting in this, and I love how all the animals move in very different ways. Were there any shots or specific characters that were just like held to animate? And you're like, oh my god.
Were there any characters that were held in? And you made up all these characters because they weren't in the book.
I didn't get the last part.
So what was a particularly difficult character to animate?
Well, let's see. Yeah. The book, the main characters that appear in the film are in the book, but definitely, and they have makeovers because it's very different to make comic book in film, So they have makeovers, they have evolved in the film, but in the book they don't appear supporting characters, like background characters. And for us, New York, when we decided to make a film about New York, what makes New York New York? New Yorkers. So we had a team of character designers through the whole production, non-stop creating New York. We had thousands of books of New Yorkers. You can publish a book of New Yorkers. This is a working process here. Okay, so if you give me one character, and I also would say that, because I'm new, and the directors will get spoiled. I've been spoiled. I make 3 personal films and they finance them, and my team spoiled me. It's great to be a director.
Yeah.
And my animation director and my art director, which are my right hand, he said, yeah, so whatever. He said, and I realized that when I see animated films, many times, especially in TV, the characters in the background, they're stuck. I said, or they're not important. And for us, I said, I want everybody in the background has to have a reason and a design, what they're doing. So we decided that every New Yorker had to have something. And so how they dress, how they. So, but to choose one about animation, how difficult it was.
Yeah.
Just to go to the point, the octopus. And it's my favorite. That's the favorite. That's, the octopus was when we had, it doesn't appear here, okay, Sara, but it's the octopus, because when I was writing, I said, wow, because you and I, when we were living in New York, it was the time when the bucket truck was starting. It was really exciting to see it in the subway. I'm sure you all remember Green Card, the beginning, we were in New York at the time, This guy, Wright, I don't remember that first name, Right, and he was like, it was like, and then when I said, an octopus, it was, and then, but when he made an octopus and do that whole scene, that was hard work to do that. He did a great job with the octopus.
Who was coming up with all the backstories? Where they were going to work?
Well, this is always the directors that is responsible, French theory. The director is the author, okay? The other question is this and no. Of course, you have a big character design team that they're under the art director. The art director, Jose I really want to talk about him. He did an amazing job. He really needs the credit. to lead this amazing group of artists, you know. So, but the character design, Daniel Fernandez Casas, who was nominated for the Annies, he had a team of character designers, and they really were trying to figure out ideas, you know, why do they come? Sometimes they would ask, and sometimes they were burnt, you know, after 2 years creating characters, they would draw all the crews, for example, when they're roller dancing,
Yeah.
all the crew of the film is somehow one animal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so, you know, so it varied, but they really, and this is important, I think a good character designer has to think about why he's there, why he's dressed that way, or what is the attitude. So yeah, it's important to have the personality, you know.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. I think I speak for everyone when I say thank you for this amazing story.
Thank you. I was my pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how to say one more thing. You know, from now on, you're ambassadors of Robert Dreams if you like it. You're ambassadors. And if you didn't like it, just tell your enemies, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.